Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Samso, and I have a bit of a little thought about the Nexus 5 and the Nexus 6. So, this is my opinion on the Nexus 5 and the Nexus 6. So, coming into this year, it's the end of 2014, and it looks like that the Nexus 6 is going to launch sometime during the holidays. And we already have all the specifications for the Nexus 6 and the Nexus 5. So I'm going to do a quick rundown of the Nexus 5 and the Nexus 6. So the Nexus 5 has a Snapdragon 800, a 1080p display, 2 gigs of RAM, 16 or 32 gigs of storage, 8 megapixel OIS camera, pretty much everything you would expect in a past generation flagship. However, it had a 2300 milliamp battery. The Nexus 5 was one of my main drivers for a while, and I knew from personal experience that it didn't have the best battery life ever, but it did get the job done. So now that we have the general concept of what the Nexus 6 will be, which is going to be the Snapdragon 805, a 2K display, 2K display, water resistance, um, uh, 32 or 64 gigs of storage, 3 gigs of RAM, 13 megapixel camera, excuse me. It's gonna come right out with a Lollipop, a GPU for Adreno 420, and a 3220 milliamp battery. So both phones sound relatively not that far apart. So I'm gonna kind of tell you guys what's going on with what the new switch is between the Nexus 5 and the Nexus 6. What you're looking at here is a mediocre hardware upgrade. So the Nexus 5 still runs for around $350 brand new, but you can find one off Swappa for like $180 or $200 something dollars. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and go on Swappa, which I'll leave as a link down below. So when the Nexus 6 first launched, I was really disappointed. The starting price they asked for was $650, and it's $690 for the 64 gigabyte storage version, and that's simply unacceptable. The Nexus 6 is not it's basically the same thing as the Note 4. The Nexus lineup for the past two generations have been known for their quality as far as pricing goes, and now they're gonna throw all that out. So I see why Google wants to make this switch, but I don't think the $650 price tag is very appealing to most of the consumers. If you're trying to look at this, I think from my experience, if they really wanted to put all these flagship specifications into the new Nexus 6, I would put it at around $499. That's around the more acceptable price range, especially for this kind of hardware, and especially if it's coming from Motorola. It is definitely better than the Moto X 2014 edition, which comes with a Snapdragon 801, but this is definitely the better version. So I think the price range, if it was $500, it would probably sell a lot better. But now Google has pretty much said themselves that they're going to continue selling the Nexus 5 along with the Nexus 6. So I guess they're kind of thinking along the lines of trying to get a different type of screen estate for everyone that really wants to use it. But I really think they should have really just let LG remodel the Nexus 5 into the more modern type of specifications. So what I'm thinking is that they should have actually put a 2K display on a Nexus 5 along with the Snapdragon 801 and a 3000 milliamp battery, and launched it alongside the Nexus 6 to make it as another thought, so they could make it Nexus 5 2014 or 2015 edition, which will launch alongside the Nexus 6, which will launch alongside the Nexus, possibly next generation Nexus 7, which probably has around the same specifications, along with the Nexus 9, and then maybe a hardware upgrade for the Nexus 10. I mean, I know everybody loved the Nexus 10, that's a given, but we're still on the subject of Nexus 5 and Nexus 6. Both phones are still a great pick. Both are really great picks if you really want a phone that's really solid. but the Nexus 5 still beats everything around it as far as pricing goes. And the only thing that really comes close is the OnePlus One. So now you're kind of put into an area. So most consumers right now would think that really want to buy a phone that's really worth their money. They only have about two choices: the Nexus 5 and the OnePlus One. Those are the only two choices that you have if you really want a really high-end hardware for that's really worth for itself. Those two phones are the only ones that are really worth your money. Is the Nexus 6 worth your money? No, it isn't. It's the exact same price as a Samsung device, and it shouldn't really be compared to a Samsung device, because the Samsung Note 4 has a lot more utility than Nexus 6 does. The Samsung includes a lot of extra little tweaks in its software to make it a little more appealing, like dual window, or a lot of little stuff like that. A stylus. I mean, the Nexus 6 is a phablet, which will be compared alongside the Note 4. So if you put both phones on the desk side by side with the exact same price range, I'd pick the Note 4 every day of the week. So I guess that's just kind of what I'm thinking for the Nexus 6. That's entirely my opinion. You guys are entitled to yours. So thanks for watching, guys. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you didn't, just leave a comment down below giving me kind of your logic, because I'm always open to new ideas. So again, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.